Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany and welcome to another Cook With Me Foodie Friday. In today's video, we are actually going to be making a super easy weeknight meal when you are swamped. If you are in the chapter of your life like I am, where you have young children, you're working, maybe you're not working, you're a stay-at-home mom, which is even harder. If you just have a super busy life, maybe you're a student, whatever it is, this meal is super easy. I'm gonna show you how to take regular jarred spaghetti sauce and bump it up to a whole nother level. This is one of my family's absolute favorite meals. And I've shown how to do this before in a Sunday reset, I think, but I figured it needed its own Cook With Me because we love it so much and I make it so often. I'm also gonna show you how you can eat it and still enjoy it if you are low carb and it doesn't involve any kind of noodles. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. I'm also going to be making a super easy side salad, a Caesar salad with my favorite from the grocery store dressing that makes it absolutely delicious and really, really simple. So if you're here for a fast and delicious, feed your family and make everybody happy meal, this is the one for you. The most important thing for this recipe is going to be really good jarred sauce, and that is Rouse. Nothing is better than Rouse. I love their tomato basil. This is my absolute favorite. I get the giant jar that's like the size of my head because there are 7 of us, and on the weekends we typically have 2 extras with girlfriends and boyfriends. So there's always a lot of people here in our home, so the bigger the jar, the better. This sauce is absolutely delicious, and it is the most keto friendly as well. So keep that in mind when you are looking for a jarred tomato sauce. If you are doing low carb, Rouse is the way to go. Rouse also has pizza sauce that is also low carb. The other thing that takes your spaghetti, your jarred spaghetti over the top is using ground sausage instead of ground beef. This is a preference in my family. It may not be in yours. If you prefer to use ground beef or ground turkey, that's perfectly fine. You could even use ground chicken. However, I find that Italian sausage is the way to go to make this just a little bit extra decadent and a little bit more delicious. So if you can find ground Italian sausage, this is perfect. Make sure you're not using Jimmy Dean, no breakfast sausage. You want Italian sausage. I use mild because not everybody in my family likes spicy, and this is absolutely perfect. Okay, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, to get us started today, we are using a large skillet. This is going to allow for us to cook all of our sauce in one pan. And then we're going to get started with our onion. I'm using 1 yellow onion for today's recipe, and we are going to use the entire onion. Now, if you don't love the taste of onion, you can use half of it, but I definitely encourage you not to skip the onion. It really does just give your sauce such a depth of flavor, and it just makes it taste like you've been simmering this sauce all day long. So go ahead and dice up your onion really, really small, and you don't need to mince it or anything. Just dice it up nice and small. We're going to saute this in some olive oil, and like I said, it's just going to give your sauce that I've been simmering all day taste. Once your olive oil is nice and hot, go ahead and pop your onion into the pan. Let that saute for a few minutes until it's nice and fragrant in your house and your onion is nice and clear. This is when my family knows that dinner is cooking. I'm going to start to prep some other things in between. This is how I keep cooking going really quickly. So we picked up some garlic bread from the grocery store. I turned on the oven to 350 to let that start to heat. And then I'm going to come back to our onions. We're going to add in about 3 teaspoons of minced garlic here. I'm just using garlic that's already been cut. I keep this in my fridge. This just makes it a little bit faster and easier. Let that cook for just a little bit, and then go ahead and add in a pound of Italian sausage. Like I said already, this is what takes this sauce above and beyond. You can just use ground beef if that's what you prefer. You could use ground turkey if you wanted to. However, I really think the Italian sausage is where it's at. It just gives it such a depth of flavor. So go ahead and combine that with your onions and your garlic. Give that a really good cook until it's most of the way browned. While that's continuing to brown, I'm going to go ahead and work on our salad. I am using a romaine heart here, and I already washed it. We're just going to give this a rough chop. So you have bite-sized pieces, but you don't want anything that's too small or too large. So cut that up. I'm using the entire head. Now, if I was just making this for myself, I'd probably use about a half, but since everybody in my family loves Caesar salad, who doesn't? We're going to use the entire romaine head. I'm adding that into a bowl, and we'll come back to finish dressing this in just a minute. We're going to go season up our sauce a little bit more. So here is where you're going to really take your sauce above and beyond, and that is adding just a little bit of white cooking wine. I keep this in my pantry. I toss it into a lot of things. It just adds so much flavor. And then add in your sauce. Now, like I already mentioned, I am using the large jar of Rouse sauce. This is the tomato basil sauce. It's my favorite, but you can use any of your favorite jarred sauces. This one, I think, just doesn't have that bitter tomato flavor, and it isn't overly sweet. Now we're going to season it up just a little bit more with some garlic powder, onion powder, and some freshly cracked pepper. And we're going to let our sauce simmer a little bit to let all of those flavors come together and let the jarred sauce come up to the same temperature as everything else. While that's heating up, I'm going to go ahead and start on my chicken. So I've got 4 pieces of chicken tenderloin here, probably equals to about 1 chicken breast. And I'm seasoning it with onion powder, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. And we're going to put this into my air fryer. I think that cooking chicken in the air fryer is so easy. The cleanup is smooth. And when you're just cooking a little bit like this, it's a really easy and low fat way to cook your chicken because you're not using any oil or anything. So I'm just going to put this in my air fryer and roast it. I think I ended up roasting my chicken at 375 for about 12 minutes, but check your air fryer's instructions. It might be different. Now we're going to go back to our sauce. You can see it's bubbling, and we're going to take it again up another level by adding about 1/4 of a cup of heavy whipping cream. This is so yummy. It makes your sauce thick and decadent, and it's just the right amount of fat to make your sauce thicker, and it helps it cling to every single noodle. It's so good. We're going to top it off with about 1/2 cup or so of Parmesan cheese. Go ahead and mix that in, and our sauce should be good. Give it a taste. If you feel like it needs something else, some salt or anything like that, you can add that later, but don't add any salt until you're to the end because Parmesan is nice and salty, and this should be good to go. Now that our sauce is done and simmering, I'm going to come back over to our salad, and I'm dressing this today with the Marie Callender's Caesar dressing. It has 1 gram of carb per tablespoon, and I think that this is absolutely delicious. I used 3 tablespoons to dress the entire salad, and it's nice and thick and creamy. This is my favorite Caesar dressing. I just think it's absolutely delicious, and I love how creamy it is. So I'm going to go ahead and dress all of our salad. We're going to add some freshly cracked pepper as well as some fresh Parmesan cheese, and we can't can't forget the croutons. If you are doing low carb, just make sure you leave those out of your portion, but the rest of my family definitely loves all of the croutons. Since our bread only needs 5 to 7 minutes to cook, I'm only going to pop this in right before I drop my pasta. That way they come out about the same time, so everything is hot and fresh and nothing is overcooked. So I'm popping that into the oven, and then it's going to be time to drop our pasta. I am going to start by salting the water. This part is optional. You don't have to salt your water, but I do think that it adds that extra bit of flavor to your pasta and is really, really delicious, especially if you have friends in your house or kiddos that don't eat the sauce and just eat the pasta. This is the perfect way to do it. So I am using 2 pounds of penne, and my family really likes penne. We also use a lot of rotini in my house. Those are just the pastas my family really likes. So while that's boiling, I'm going to go ahead and pull out our bread, which is done and looking absolutely delicious. Crispy on the outside, soft and gooey on the inside. We're going to give that a good chop and get that onto our platter. And now it's time to dress our pasta. This is completely up to you how you like to do it. Everybody in my house likes to eat the pasta with the sauce, so I dress the entire the entire pasta bowl with the pasta sauce. Give it a really good stir. This allows for the pasta to completely absorb that sauce. It makes it delicious. And I lied to you earlier. I said I used penne, but I did use rotini. So sorry about that, but this is our favorite kind of pasta. We're going to top it again with more Parmesan cheese. Do it while it's hot so it gets nice and melty. And our pasta is ready to go. Finally, I'm going to go ahead and dress my chicken. I've got 3 of those chicken tenderloins and about 3/4 of a cup of sauce. I'm just going to put that here on top, and again, top it with some fresh Parmesan cheese, and my dinner is ready. Oh, that looks so good. Okay, my friends, our dinner is done. My dinner is done. So I just have the chicken, and then it's layered with the sauce. And I put about a cup of sauce. I probably won't even eat all this, knowing like how full I get and how quickly I get full. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a bite because I'm dying and I'm really hungry. And it just smells so good. And I just love this sauce. And you could pair this with a low carb noodle, a zucchini noodle. But I like it with the chicken. I think it's delicious. And of course, I want a bite with I just dropped a little bit. My dog's gonna come get it, but I want a bite with all the goodness. That's how I like it. So here we go. So good. I don't know if you can see that, but the chicken is cooked perfectly. I just love cooking chicken in the Instant Pot. It just makes things go really fast and it's really easy to clean up. So, all right, my friends, that brings us to the end of another Foodie Friday Cook With Me video. I hope that you found this video to be inspiring, and I hope that you are excited to zhuzh up your jarred spaghetti sauce next time you make a spaghetti meal for you or your family. Until the next one, my friends, happy eating.